My name is Bill Fisher. In this demo, we'll be designing the background using Adobe Animate. The first order of business is to choose the scene that I want to illustrate the background for. I'm going to choose this one because it has the two chicken coops, and then when I design the character over it, it will have all the characters as well. I'm going to start with the chicken coop, which I'm going to draw in 1-point perspective. So I will insert a keyframe here on frame 144. Call this perspective. And I'm just going to paste in some lines that I drew in a different project. I'm going to lock all the layers that I'm not going to be working on and unlock the one that I will. This is a common technique for making sure you're always working on the correct layer. I'm going to turn my thumbnails off for a moment. Now I'm going to start drawing my chicken coop. So I'll lock this layer. Add one called Coop. Insert a keyframe right in this column with the others. And I will get my line tool, properties, stroke size to black color. Just going to draw this. Start with a simple rectangle. Rough out a roof. And so on. I'll be filling these shapes later, so just like Photoshop, I don't really want gaps between the line intersections. I will go to View, Snapping, Snap to Objects, get my selection tool, and then that will snap these edges right to each other. And that way I will have really nice shapes without gaps that I can fill with color. I'm going to turn off this perspective layer and take a look at my lines. I think I would like them to be brown, so I'll go to the properties, choose a stroke color, and sometimes I like the exterior lines to be a little thicker, so I can select those. It's a style choice that I'm going to use in my entire animation, thick and thin lines. I will make these 8. If you're wondering how I was able to select all those lines at once, I simply held the Shift key down while I was selecting. I'd like to have 4 of these, so I'm going to group this one, set it over here, copy, paste, use the transform tool with the Shift key held down. I will get that in place. Then I can copy both of these, paste them, transform tool, flip horizontal. Use my arrow key to position them. And there's my farm roughed out. These shapes aren't very interesting, so I'm going to select them all, break them apart, go to Modify, Transform, Envelope. Now I can have a little bit of fun distorting them, making them a little bit gestural. and a little more interesting. Now that I have my drawing the way I like it, you can see that I changed some of the line colors here to get some atmospheric perspective. I can choose the paint bucket tool and start filling some of these shapes. What I would like to do is choose close large gaps. That will make sure that the shapes will fill. I can go to swatches and choose a color from our Universal Design color palette, and then start to fill shapes. I have my coops where I want them now, squashed a little bit to make more room for action here. If you want to see outside of the clipped frame, you can choose this little button and it will show you everything. And then if you clip it again, it will show you the final cropped version. I'm going to choose the word Coop to select the layer, choose Properties, and add a filter and adjust the color. I think I'll take the hue a little to the green. Now I'd like to put a ground plane in here, so I will make a new layer, call it ground, and drag that underneath the coops. Get my oval tool, set up no stroke, and I'll choose a fill to be fairly dark and transparent. Let's say alpha about 35%. Make that oval, bring it up to there. Rather than picking colors over and over again, I'm going to simply apply a color effect filter, adjust color to the layer, because then I can slide these around and achieve, really look around for that color that I really want. Now that I have everything laid in, I can make some final adjustments. I think the paper texture is a little bit overwhelming. So I'm going to click that layer, go to Properties, and increase the tint, maybe to there. That way it's a little bit more blended into the page color. Go down to the filters and make some adjustments there as well, until I just like the way that this is all working together. In terms of visual hierarchy, I think that allowed these chicken coops to dominate over the paper and page color. To get a sense of the impact that the vignette and the paper texture is having on our background, let's turn those off for a moment. You can see now it looks fairly simple and fairly flat, not nearly as much information. The vignette and the paper texture was a very quick way to get a lot of information into the background without very much labor. I have one plane in my background right now. I'm going to add two more. I will make a layer called Pecking 1, insert a keyframe, and then I'm going to paste some artwork that I already made. Some pecking chickens. That's going to be my second plane. I'll make another new layer, Pecking 2, insert a keyframe. In that keyframe I will paste another set of chickens that I made previously. I'm going to apply some atmospheric perspective to my 2 additional planes. I'll check the word pecking one in that layer so that I can apply a tint to the layer. The tint that I'm going to want is the adjacent color on the ground plane next to it. Now I can click that layer name again, go to Properties, and apply a filter. Adjust color. I can decrease the contrast a little bit and perhaps make them a little brighter and send them back. Now I'll do something similar with pecking 2 layer. Once again, I'll make a tint. It remembered that color. Maybe I'll tint them a little bit less. I'll apply a filter, adjust color. This time I won't make the contrast and the saturation quite as low, so that I will get some atmosphere, but not as much as the back. Now you'll see that I can scale these planes up independently at different rates of speed when I'm trucking my camera in and out and left and right, creating illusion of space. Well, that wraps up the demo for today. Thanks for watching.